This video is part of a series on how to choose a counselor. If you haven't watched the earlier episodes, you're going to want to. Otherwise, if you only watch this episode, you're going to think I'm an asshole. So just going to warn you that right up the front, we are jumping right in. Because we have talked about, in the process of choosing a counselor, being aware of your goals, being aware of your symptoms, being aware of the counselor's training, being aware of your expectations, being aware of what worked and didn't work in your prior counseling. But now the fun part, because if counseling wasn't working for you, if counseling wasn't helping, if your counselor wasn't any good, if you didn't like the counselor, maybe the problem is you. Because is it that you don't like the answers they gave? That when they reflected back what they saw, you were offended? That you didn't like your beliefs challenged? That you didn't want to have to change your behavior? That you didn't like getting easy answers? Basically, you didn't like your counselor, and you didn't like counseling because you didn't like getting called on your shit. You have to consider that. Maybe the problem is that you don't want to have to change. You don't want to have to put in the work. You don't want to have to admit that you may have something going on. So often we go to counseling because we want a problem fixed. We want to fulfill a requirement. But effective counseling requires discomfort. It requires effort. Often that effective change, things are going to feel worse before they feel better. And when you're looking at change, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same result. If your counselor doesn't call you on your shit and challenge you to change, then counseling isn't going to help you. So if you don't want a counselor who challenges you, if you don't want a counselor that reflects back things about yourself that you don't like, if you don't want a counselor who's calling you on your shit and challenging you to do new things and to live in a healthier way, then what you're really looking for is a counselor who's just going to tell you you're already great and that you don't need to come to counseling. Now, this is especially a concern when you're looking at people who are either required to come to counseling or when you're a couple. When I've worked with clients who are required to come to counseling, they are just coming because somebody else is the bad guy. My wife is making me. My husband is making me. The courts are making me. The attitude is, I don't have anything wrong. The other person is the one who has something wrong. So they don't want to be called on their shit. So if that is you, that you're being required to go to counseling and you are trying to find the best counselor, find a counselor who doesn't have any expectations for you. Because otherwise, you're going to think they suck simply because they are calling you on your shit. Couples come in. Often, when a couple comes in, each person's goal is that the counselor will take their side and point out that the other person is the problem. And they do not like it when they are told that they have a part to play in this relationship. All they want to do is come in and say, hey, the counselor agrees with me that you are the problem. And then they walk in the room and the counselor says, do you realize what you are doing? And boom, oh, I hate this counselor. They took my spouse's side. They didn't listen to me. They could have cared less. You know what? That's about you. That's about you not wanting to explore that maybe you have something that you need to work on. Now, let's put it this way. If you've watched the whole series and you liked all the other videos and you felt affirmed and you were like, oh, I'm learning about myself and I'm learning how to assess a counselor and I'm learning to be aware of what I need and what my symptoms are, and then suddenly right now you're going, man, this guy's a total dick. It may be that you just don't like being called on your shit. Because if you are comfortable being called on your shit, then you're watching this video and going, yeah, I've already explored that, and this is not me, because I am totally willing to be uncomfortable and called on my shit. But if right now you're offended with me, then it may be that the problem with your prior counselor wasn't that they lacked training, wasn't that they lacked skill, wasn't that they weren't listening to you. It was that you didn't like that they were challenging you to do the work and grow.